guys, it's me, Karen Ashley. I'm Aisha, the yellow Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and you're watching Action Activate.
What's going on? It is Action Activate, and we're here for episode, is it 17, Big Dog?
It is 17! It's great to see you guys. It's been so long.
I am Gazbot, and of course, this with me, as always, person is...
the Big Dog Defender, as he's known in
That's
some
right.
parts
Yes.
of the universe.
So, we are jumping into episode 17, which is Gorilla Art, which we should have... I watched it 2 weeks ago, and it all got messed up, but we're doing it now. Catching up. So you're going to get two episodes. If you're watching on Twitch, you got these back-to-back. If you're watching on YouTube, you get them within the same week. I'll be putting them up. And then next...
I don't know what he's talking about. We've definitely shot at completely different times.
I mean, it's not like we're wearing the same clothes and everything, but... All right, so let's jump...
Hang on. For continuity. We're here for episode 17.
Look, I'm holding peanuts. I wasn't holding peanuts last episode.
Oh my gosh, my hat's completely different. It must be a different day.
Gorilla Art. Your initial thoughts.
Right, so, Ravi's a jerk in this episode.
Oh boy. Okay.
Here we go!
Okay, Gorilla Art. We start off, Grid Battle Force. Here's Ravi. He's pretending to need to work on his saber. I forget the name of the Go Buster saber, the Beast Morpher saber.
This thing.
That thing, the Big Dog Defender saber. Are you going to play that like a flute? I thought you were for a minute. Oh no. Matt Kendall Clara says he has two fun facts for this episode. Okay, we look forward to those. Thank you. And Aki Dragu says Ravi is the best boy, and I won't hear any slander in this episode. Oh, so there could be some conflict outside of the Gazbot Big Dog thing. Could be Aki Dragu.
That's okay.
Big Dog.
I have the perfect retort to you, Aki Dragu.
Matt Kendall Clara says the Beast X Saber. Sorry, go ahead, Big Dog.
No, let's jump
we're not there.
Episode.
Okay.
It'll show up when it shows up.
So Ravi slinks in. He's pretending to work on the thing, but really he wants to paint. Now I have a question here. I understand he wants to keep his art a secret from his mother, who hates art. Fine. Why does he keep all his materials in the lab? I understand
maybe he lives there.
I mean, maybe he lives with his mother, but like he's still hiding it in the lab. He could hide it in his closet. He could hide it in his locker. There's lots of places to hide it where he wouldn't have to go into the lab, which also has cameras, because we've seen on previous episodes there are cameras in there.
No, we know why he has to hide it in the lab.
Why?
Because he's painting Roxy.
Oh, okay. But you don't have to hide your supplies there. You can bring them and paint her.
Because then if he brought them to and from, he would run the risk of people finding him and then have to lie further.
I'm going to give you a Ninja Steel point. Ninja Steel point, you get it.
Thank you. Ninja Steel.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm defending him. I'm literally defending him.
Well, you're the Big Dog Defender.
That's what I do.
So he's painting Roxy, and to be clear for those that haven't been watching all along, Roxy is the main female villain, but she is also a hero that was originally supposed to be a Power Ranger, which is his girlfriend. The villain is sort of like an evil projection of her. This is the actual woman who is in a coma, and so he's sad about this. And he's painting her, and this is where he starts to be a jerk that I have trouble defending, because Smash comes in, "Hey Ravi, what you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, hi Smash." Immediately turns him off because he catches him painting. Seems a bit overkill.
Tell me when I get to have my turn.
Go ahead.
Aki Dragu, I'm not mad at Ravi in this episode. I'm just really disappointed. Because as we've discussed in previous episodes where he draws, especially when Tommy Tuba encouraged him to draw just a few episodes prior, he's willing to risk one of his best friends and companions to keep the secret of his creativity. And to me, that is not very Ranger-like, nor is it leader-like, which is what he tried to be at the beginning of the season.
I agree.
Ninja Steel. Honestly, though, I'm not happy about it. Like, I've been trying pretty valiantly the last couple episodes to give Ravi his due when he does something good. But to me, this whole episode is him just, making everything the worst it could be.
I'll say two good things about Ravi. One is, if anything, this makes him a more nuanced, conflicted character. He's probably the most fleshed out character. It might be qualities that we don't necessarily like, but he's sort of consistently battling with the side of him that is sort of like, I'm going to follow the rules and be a jerk with, I want to be nice and I got to step up and do the right thing, but I'm an artist in secret. So like, he's in conflict with himself, but a lot of people are. So that's not unrealistic. And while it might not make him the most likable guy, it does make him a somewhat more fleshed out, interesting character as compared to some of the other cast. Zoe, I really like Zoe, but she's very just happy one note superhero go, which I like, but she's not as developed as Ravi is. That's the one thing I'll say.
Disagree.
Okay. The other thing I'll say is that the head sculpt on his Lightning Collection figure is one of the best I've seen.
It seems pretty good, actually.
Why do you disagree?
So I think that Zoe has been fleshed out because her conflict is that she's so nice and so dependable and has done such a change just over the last episodes of this season, from her starting to stepping up and becoming a ranger and kind of getting out of her shell. Mm-hmm. And her biggest struggles are with her friends around her. They always, kind of like you said, she's always there. She's always happy. She's always dependable. But her struggles are with talking with her mom like she did prior and having to keep that secret and trying not to be overly mean.
I agree. And they had the episode where she was sort of being overly helpful and like lying to protect her friends, and that was going too far. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she hasn't been developed at all. All the characters on this season have been developed to a certain extent, and many more than other seasons have. But I think he is a little bit of a deeper character. Doesn't mean I like him better, but I'm just giving credit where credit is due.
We'll agree to disagree that he is better developed than other Rangers.
Kyle Goldfinch, wow, Big Dog, wow. Talk about changing tactics with different episodes. Erg, the tube episode, Erg. Mecha Nuclear Defender, not mad at Ravi. That's not possible. And Aki Drago, thanks, Gazbot. All right, so he turns off his buddy, turns it back on, having erased his memory of seeing the art, which is also like, oof. That's okay. And this, of course, because Ravi is not an expert and probably just saw Nate do this once, makes Smash just have a subconscious like, art. I got to make art. I'm going to paint. And he starts sort of malfunctioning and just painting all over everything, which they don't see.
Yep.
We cut away. We know that's going to be a problem. We cut away to the park where we see kids on Morphex bikes, including Ben and Betty on the double-decker Morphex bike that didn't work in a previous episode. So apparently they kept working on it, or Nate helped them out, and it's fixed now. So I love callbacks to the universe building.
Yep.
But they see Smash, and he's painting graffiti all over. Luckily, it's nothing terrible. It's all just stars and nice, happy stuff. But there's, once again, the way they act with Steel, trying to make it be like, oh, look, it's a science project. Nothing to see here. Blah, blah. Acting like the fact that there are sentient robots is a secret. But it's not. They're all the time out in public, and nobody cares. So
that's one plot hole I wish they would address.
I wish they would just stop. I wish the commander would like call Ben and Betty aside and be like, guys, everyone knows that we make robots here, and it's fine. Stop.
I don't blame Ben and Betty. I blame the writing and it being.
Me too. But it's happened a few times. So the writing can fix it by having the commander kind of assemble everybody and be like, look, I know some of you have been trying to cover. It's fine. We're out in the open. You know what I mean? Because it's been inconsistent, they could address it now.
No, I think what needs to happen is like either the mayor or the news crew or somebody says something to them and they acknowledge that the robots are there, so that people don't need to be like, oh, you don't have to bring them up. Like, people obviously see that these robots are part of Beast. Why am I blanking?
Grid Battle Force.
Grid Battle Force. Thank you.
In chat, Akidragu. You read it. It's to you.
Big Dog, you don't understand the fear of controlling parents. It can make you do things that are questionable to avoid them finding out something that isn't decided by them. It takes years to get that fear out, speaking from experience. I 100% agree with that. But what I disagree with is that he had the support of his friends prior about some of this stuff. He's addressed some of the things he feared, like dating within Grid Battle Force and sharing his feelings about Roxy to other people. And I think in his character development, it's to the point where we've mentioned pacing in previous episodes where things seem rushed. This is a very organic way for him to talk about this or have it come up in a way that's less destructive to his friends and loved ones than it ends up being in the episode.
I agree with Akidragu, but I do think turning off Smash and erasing his memory is crossing a line. I think what would have been preferable is if he panics and he turns off Smash. And then he's like, what am I doing? And he turns him back on and says, and Smash's like, what happened? He's like, I'm sorry, Smash. I panicked and I turned you off because I was afraid you would see I was doing art. But you're my friend. And like, there's an opportunity where, yes, he's still afraid of his parents. He still might make bad decisions, but he could have corrected it. The erasing memory, I mean, it's sort of like not as bad because he's a robot. But like that would be the equivalent of like somebody walking in on me and like knocking him over the head and trying to convince him they didn't see anything. Like, I guess because he's a robot, it's not bad, but it's his friend, and they make a point of saying like they're your friends and they're sentient and they're your partners, and you're like tampering with their memory. That's really bad. You know, that's not just like lying or hiding something. That's so. I understand the fear of dealing with his mother and losing his position for Battle Force, but he went too far when he reprogrammed Smash. Let's see. Kyle Goldfinch says this episode is not great. I agree, it's not great. Kyle Goldfinch, you know what would have been cool is Go Busters versus Beat J Stag except with blue. I have not watched Go Busters, so I have no frame of reference for that.
Oh, I'm assuming you mean either Big Bad Beetleborgs or Beetleborgs is what I think you're referring to. Unless it's something else entirely.
I think Beat J Stag is the Sentai name of one of the characters from Go Busters, but I haven't watched it, so I'm not sure. Aki Drago says, yeah, I agree, he crossed the line. Okay, so we might vary on where our opinion falls, but we all agree that was crossing a line.
We agree that we're disappointed in whether leading up to it was right or wrong or should have been handled.
Sure, yes. So getting back to the episode real quick, Betty calls Command is like, hey, Smash is out here painting, it's nuts. So they start trying to clean it as fast as he's painting it. They're not cleaning it at all. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or it's just that the actors were not given cleaning materials, but they scrub it and nothing happens, even a little. And I guess it's for the setup. So they get the fire hose. Now this joke kind of reminds me of the last joke, where this seems to be the new way they're going. He's looking in the fire hose, it won't go. And they've had this before where then they get it to go and it gets him. So you expect it's going to get him in the face. And it doesn't. And then they get it to go, and it shoots out, and they fall down the hill. So it's a fake out similar to the cake one we had last episode, where, oh, you think the cake's going to fall? No. Oh, it fell a different way. You think they're going to shoot themselves in the face? They don't. Oh, it goes a different way. I like the setup for an expected slapstick that doesn't happen. I feel like the follow-up could be stronger, and they could find a better way to do it.
I want them to take a break from slapstick, even just one episode.
I also would like that. They fall in the water, they get out.
It's just so, like, even now talking about it,
I know.
There's no joy in our voice. Just leave it.
I agree. Which is why
in a positive way.
I like here. I mean, this is not how I would write it, but if I was given it right now, quick fix it. Like, I would keep having the setups and no payoff. Where you keep thinking something's going to happen and it doesn't. And it's going to happen. And do that for like 4 episodes. And then have something, the craziest slapstickiest thing ever happen. And make it like win a battle. You know what I mean? Like,
I have it.
Yeah.
So here's which I don't think there's sides to this. But if there were 2 sides of keep slapstick, get rid of slapstick, here's what I think is a happy medium. You leave everything up in there.
Yeah.
Except for when they actually get the hose to go.
Right.
You cut to the Rangers talking about Smash or something. Something else happens. All this part we get to later. You just see Ben and Betty walking up the hill completely soaking wet. And it's like, what happened? Don't ask.
I like
something like that.
Yes.
Much better.
I agree that's much better, but I know they want to pay off, and I'm saying the other way to go is
Hasbro, you're welcome.
Have all the lead ups and have the running joke be, oh, nothing ever happens. We think it's gonna happen, and it escalates to like by the 5th episode they walk into like a pie factory. There are pies about to fall on them, and whoop, that was fine, you know. And there's like, oh, here's a bunch of marbles on the floor next to a Jello sculpture, like just ridiculous, and it's always fine. That could become the joke. What?
You're describing that arc of South Park where they wouldn't have Kenny die for.
Oh, I didn't remember that. But yeah, that's the same idea, is taking the joke and going the other way. And then eventually they'll have some big crescendo where something does happen. And if they tie it into the bigger plot, more the better. Let me see here. Actually, that could be a thing where we always talk about would be great if they become Rangers. Maybe they kind of get over all their slapsticky and they miss every opportunity to. And then finally they trip and fall, but they trip and fall into like the morphing machine and become Rangers.
And just.
Yeah. We're missing some chat here. Kyle Goldfinch says regarding the BJ Stag thing, BJ Stag is Steel's counterpart. Okay. Nope, it's the 15. That's Aki Drago said. Kyle Goldfinch says, nope, it's the 15 minutes V Cinema special where the villain. Okay, I'm not going to. That's a whole bunch of Sentai stuff I don't want to read because it might be spoilers for people that haven't read it, but you could read it if you want. Aki Drago says, it's complicated.
Okay.
Yeah,
I read it because I know
okay.
you don't want to get
Yeah,
spoiled.
that's all
but
fine.
yeah,
Like,
that'd be cool.
yeah, that's all fine. We try to kind of stick to Power Rangers as much as we can here, because we have not seen all the Sentai. A lot of people have not seen the Sentai. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I do watch Sentai, but yeah, I can't really
For,
speak to that.
for those that don't know,
Yeah.
Gaz has opinions on both Sentai and Power Rangers, and as do I.
Yes.
The main difference between Gaz and I is I don't love getting spoiled on things. Gaz absolutely hates more than traffic getting spoiled on things.
I would agree with that. I would agree with
So
that.
although he appreciates some of the things, and we're not saying don't share your thoughts
No,
on
feel
the
free to.
comparisons between the two, please
Yes.
continue. But when it comes to specific plot points,
Yeah.
the vaguer the better to get us to fully read and or respond to you in these instances.
That's absolutely correct, and it's not a slight on you. That's my own neuroses.
Like I only know because I've been friends with him for so long, but in the beginning, he'd literally cut me off all the time, like, nope, you're going to spoil.
Yeah.
And I'd literally have to be like, okay, this is spoiler free for the Power Ranger comic that you're not caught up on. It's really good and you should read it. And like, that's it.
You notice I'm less likely to watch something if I know. Like when some people like, oh, this season of the show is great, and they're like, because X, Y, and Z happens, and some people go, oh man, I better check that out. If you tell me that, I'm like, well, you just told me the best things, so I don't need to.
30-second example really quick, and then we're going to get back to it.
Okay.
I love the show Supernatural. Gazbot now loves the show
True.
Supernatural.
Yes.
We met, I think, like 7 or 8 years ago, and I said, you know what show you would like if you like all these other shows? Supernatural. He went, not only do I not want to watch it because I know somebody who loved it, and I spitefully don't want to watch it, but you telling me all these great things makes me want to watch it less.
It's true.
So I dropped it cold turkey.
Yep.
Years later, he went, hey, so my wife and I binge watched all of Supernatural in about a year, and now we're current and ahead of you.
And there's like 13 seasons, to be clear.
15.
50. There you go. 15's like 13. Yeah, no, so that's absolutely true. But enough time had passed that I forgot most of the stuff he had told me. And yeah, so it's a weird thing about me, but it's it is what it is.
Moral of the story: either wait a really long time, or bludgeon him over the head, hope he forgets, and then bring it up again.
Sure. Yeah, and that's not to say if you had said, hey, check out Supernatural, you might like it. That's fine. It's the more specific you get, the less likely I am. But we're getting way sidetracked.
Are you saying that I go way too deep in my opinions on that? Doesn't sound like
No. Let's see. Aki Drago says I have to catch up on Supernatural. I think one episode behind.
I'm close. I'm on the first. I'm either the first or second third of season 14.
I don't want this to be a Supernatural show. I will say. I will say this one thing. Well, no, because it could be considered a spoiler. I won't say anything. I'm not going to say anything. We're going to move on. Castiel's the best. Okay.
Well done.
So the Rangers show up and they're like, Smash, why are you painting everything? But before they could really deal with it, here comes Blaze and Roxy with their new villain, Fan Man. I don't remember his name. This is a weird villain. He kind of looks like a Gundam to me, like a G Gundam or something. I like him, but he seems out of place. Like, I wonder if he's an American created. He probably isn't. But do you know what I mean? There's something.
Oh yeah. Oh, so he reminds you of Unicorn.
Maybe. Okay.
Oh, and he reminds you of Cyclopsis.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I think all the white is what's making me think of Gundam too, like the white paneling and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like him.
The blue is a nice touch, though.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, well, forget about the paint. It's morphin time, and they start fighting immediately. I watched these out of order, so he doesn't have the Fury Crystal anymore. So I watched this one first. So okay, never mind. I was about to make a comment that makes no sense because
I also want to notice they're literally at the park. And they didn't even look around. They just went, you know what? Doesn't matter. Let's morph it up.
Yeah. Well, once again.
Doesn't matter. Morph it up.
No secret identities. Robots are totally fine, except when we decide in the plot that they are not. So they start fighting. They're kind of holding their own. Roxy's like, okay, enough of this. Starts firing her gun. Defeats all the Power Rangers temporarily because she used her gun. And, Roxy's Blaze looks really cool there. They both are awesome. I like Roxy better. She's got more personality, I think. Like more.
I like Blaze aesthetically better. Roxy is 3 times better as a character.
I'll agree with both of those statements. So then they go back to the fight after she makes her little snark remark, which I don't remember. So Smash starts fighting with this guy, and they want to grab Smash. I don't remember why. Do you remember why? Why Smash is fighting him specifically? There was a reason, but I watched this like 2 weeks ago, so I'm kind of forgetting. Matt Canoclair, Turbotron is the name of the Robotron. He's from Sentai. Okay. My fun fact is about him that I'm going to be typing up. Okay, cool. So a fun fact about Turbotron coming up. He is Sentai. So he's fighting Smash. Devin charges in using his super speed, not needing a Fury Cell. And then Turbotron calls in the Tronics. Then he flies away, and there's something about him flying away that was really weird. Like, you hardly ever see flying characters in Power Rangers other than ships and Zords. And there's nothing wrong with it, but when it happened, I'm like, what? He could fly? And, like, why not? But I remember it striking me as a little bit odd.
I think it was an effects thing, which is why we just rarely saw it.
Maybe. Let's see. Matt Canoclair. Mark
Mitchinson voices Turbotron. He did the voice of Shifter in RPM, Creepox in Megaforce, Singe in Dino Charge, and Sheriff Skyfire last year.
We reviewed Sheriff Skyfire. No, actually, you do a better Skyfire than I do.
I'm here. Oh, wait. It's just
never mind. You don't anymore. Okay.
I'm here, Sheriff Skyfire. Brand new voice, brand new season. Might be a macho man. Who's to say, brother?
I like how you're getting it wrong, so you just like, I'm gonna get it really wrong.
Just ripped it.
Somebody named the Real Babu says hi. Did I miss anything? No, not really.
You didn't miss anything. This is a brand new episode. We didn't record anything before this. You're right on time.
Yes, this is the episode. This Twitch stream
17.
certainly didn't record 2 episodes and then break it into 2 YouTube episodes. This is
Not
certainly just
That's
episode 17. We are trying to finish this episode in a manner that will not be too much longer. I don't know if that's possible because we keep going on tangents. The Real Babu, for those that don't know, when I did Ranger Stop, I did a lot of interviews. I think I have 2 up. One is with Psycho Red. This is on the YouTube channel under Gazbot. One is Psycho Red actor Patrick David. One is Karen Ashley, Yellow Mighty Morphin, who actually I got her at Silicon Valley Comic Con. There are more coming, but what I also just put up was a version of the live panel. Big Dog couldn't make it, but Steve Andrino, the Real Babu, literally, did it with me, and so there's a version of that up you could see if that interests you as well on the YouTube channel. Aki Dragu says, because they can destroy Smash, and all their interest from the Megazord. Maybe that was it. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, good call. Yeah. So Ravi and Smash kind of run away to protect him, but Turbotron catches up with him because he flies, and he starts sucking him in. And I like that Ravi, like, he's getting sucked in, and instead of fighting, he's like, okay, here I go, and he charges in with the sword, which I thought was a good tactic. Unfortunately, Turbotron caught on to that and then blew him back the other way. So I'm down with Ravi here. He's defending his buddy. He had some good tactics. He digs into the ground. He starts using his grill strike. I'm not giving up. Yeah, but he's being a good.
No, I know. I'm agreeing with you. Come on.
But he's not doing well. He's trying, but he's not doing well. Then we cut to the first commercial. Let me go back here. Kyle Goldfinch, Gazbot. I would love to do a panel with you. Hey, maybe one day. I would love to do a panel with my actual co-host one day, too. That would be nice.
It's true. It would be nice if we were in the same room for once.
Yes, yeah. So we cut back from commercial, and now we see Smash standing in front of Ravi because he's a little heavier, and he's sort of taking the wind hit. And then Ravi leans out from behind him. Good teamwork, good strategy. Using a gun, because guns always win. And what happens? The gun wins. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying the guns always win in life. I'm not even saying guns always win in every Power Rangers. This season, it seems like the guns are way more powerful.
Blaster bust is the easiest way to tagline Beast Morphers.
Yeah, it just wins. You know, as long as you don't have a Fury Cell, you're all good. So he hits him twice, and he basically destroys him. He doesn't completely obliterate him, but he destroys the fan. And again, that's nice, damage to the suit that they put in. And he presumably runs away, flies away, whatever. Now we cut back to Scrozzle. Scrozzle last episode got the final piece he needed to his Beast Morpher power. He got the Cheetah speed. So he's putting into some kind of box with the 3 of them. We don't know what that's going to go on exactly. Theoretically, it's going to go on Blaze or Roxy or some other powerful villain that Evox chooses. But as I said, I have thoughts that either Scrozzle's going to use it for himself or use it on a creation he makes that is loyal to him. I know we're an episode ahead, but I didn't see this week, so who knows how right I am. But then this guy shows up. I do not remember his name. Do you?
Vargoyle
shows up. And Vargoyle, we learn, at first it seems like he's his own unique entity, but we learned that Scrozzle created him a while ago, and they kind of had a falling out. But Vargoyle also was the owner of the Fury Cells, and he's annoyed that Scrozzle took them and lost/used most of them already. So this is interesting. I always love when they throw new dynamics into the villains, where you kind of figure where everybody stands and where it's going, and then here comes somebody new. So all of a sudden everything is thrown into chaos, and the politics are up for debate. So Vargoyle shows up, and then Roxy's like, "Who's this idiot?" And Blaze is like, yeah, who's this idiot? I don't remember what he says there.
Something similar.
Yes. And similar to when Turbotron Tubatron immediately blew Blaze through the wall. This time, Vargoyle's like, "Hi, you guys," and he punches them both,
Boom.
and they both go flying through the wall. And he's
Yup.
like, "I'm the new guy here. I'm awesome. If there's any powers, I'm gonna get them. I created the Fury Cells. I'm the man." And they once again are not happy, and they're like, "Evox, what about us? Come on."
Quick takes on
Yes.
Vargoyle.
Yes.
One, need the figure right now.
Yeah, very cool design.
Two, he reminds me of a mashup of the older brother from Zeo, whose name I totally forgot, and the guy that trained Trakina in Last Galaxy, that you and I have talked about how we can't remember his name
Wait,
on 3 different
Villamax.
shows.
Villamax.
Villamax! Yeah, thank you. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
Villamax, and is it it's not Prince Gasket, it's
I know that.
Prince
I can't remember that. It was Sprocket was the little
something.
one, right?
Oh, maybe it is
Maybe it's Prince Gasket. I don't know.
maybe.
Let's see. Matt Kendall Claire, Vargoyle is from Sentai, but over there, he's just a regular monster. Okay, cool.
That's
I
cool.
like when they do that, when they kind of promote
Yeah.
suits and, you know.
They did that with Snide in Dino Charge.
Yes, which I now know because I've been watching Dino Thunder. There's a character in that reminds me of Snide cosmetically, and apparently in the Sentai, and this is a little bit spoiler, but in the Sentai there is a connection between those two characters.
What? I didn't know. I'm so glad you told me, and I didn't tell you at any point that I knew this.
Well, it's weird because I would have to watch so much Sentai to like connect those dots, and I don't know how big a deal it is, but it makes sense that even if they just say, "Oh, I'm related to them. We're from the same race," or whatever the connection is.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking, I'm like, this guy looks like Snide, and then
Yeah.
when I kind of looked into it a little bit, not to get too spoiler, but I was like, oh, there's a
Yeah.
connection. Stop looking, you know. But
The reason I brought that up is
Yeah.
because the second I found that out, I wanted to tell you and literally.
well, I appreciate that you didn't. Well, Ninja Steel for you.
Ninja Steel.
Yes, but it is weird because it was a dinosaur themed season here, and then another dinosaur themed season, and all they would have to do is be like, oh, you know, Tommy thought he got rid of me back then, or you know, I've been hanging out ever since the Dino Thunder, like, and just a throwaway line, and like the first time we see him, just to make it interesting. Why not? You know, like, and they never did.
If and when you're ready, I will tell you at some point in time.
Oh, you know the answer?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, well, if it's about American seasons that I've seen, go ahead.
In American seasons, they're in no way connected other
Yes.
than by coincidence.
Right, and my question is, why would they not have a throwaway line to connect them? It wouldn't
Because
cost
there's no
anything.
reason to. Because for this, the timeline wouldn't work out because A, I think they're parallel worlds, and B, it wouldn't work out because of them being in space, and by them I mean both Snide and Heckle.
Yeah, but they captured Heckle and Snide were captured. So Sledge could have picked him up anywhere. He could have
No.
left the Earth after Dino Thunder, went to another planet. He could be his brother. It doesn't have to literally be him. It could be another warrior from the same race that wears the same armor. They could have found any light connection to just say, "Oh yeah, you know, your forefather was here fighting the Rangers, you know, 15 years ago when Tommy Oliver was in charge." Like they could have said anything.
There's every counterpoint I have, you will be mad at me.
Because it's about the
So-
Sentai or because it's about Power Rangers?
Both. So I need to drop it without
Okay.
spoiling anything you haven't seen, and
Okay.
we'll agree to disagree.
All right, fair enough. Sorry about that. I do know that
No,
Dino
you're
Charge. I do know Dino Charge is a separate universe, but they've shown that they could, transfer to different universes. And
So without
that's not-
spoiling
yeah.
anything, in Power Rangers, in one of the few seasons you haven't seen,
Yeah.
they have made similar comments like that, and it didn't go over great, which is probably why they didn't do
Gotcha. Okay, well that is a good non-spoiler way to do it. But like I said, I do know it's a different universe. To me, that's not a stumbling block though, because
it. No, I know.
Yeah.
The second reason, which I really want to go over that with you.
okay,
but
we'll drop it for now because we're also running out of time.
That's fine.
Matt Kendall
Let's go.
Claire, Prince Gasket is the older evil son from Zeo.
boom, 2 for 2, baby.
Well
Ninja
done.
Steel.
I got Villamax Ninja Steel
No, we as a conjoined unit, 2 for 2.
Ninja.
We just went super
Ninja.
mega steel.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
We went super mega defender bot.
I'll dig it. Okay, so the villains are all arguing about who's going to get what, and then we cut back to Ravi helping Smash clean, which seems nice, except it's Ravi's fault. Smash is out of control.
Yep.
So Nate looks into it, and he's like, somebody shut him down and erased his memory. And Ravi's like, oops, it was me. Ravi, come on, buddy. I mean, he owned up to it pretty quickly, but he should have owned
Well,
up
they
to it
were going
immediately.
through it, and he literally waited until Nate said, somebody did this specific thing. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So then he's like, why? And he's like, well, he saw me doing art, and then they see the pictures of Roxy, the real Roxy, and then Zoe's like, oh, these are really good, and like, why do you hide? And he's like, oh, my mom, this and that, and I think it was this episode. I don't know if it happened yet or not, but Smash is doing all this art, and his mother's literally like, art is such a stupid waste of time, especially if you're a Power Ranger. Come on, like, so she says
she
it,
said it a different one.
but she says it this one too, doesn't she? Because Smash is out of control painting.
I think she said.
Uh-oh, Big Dog's frozen. Evox, release the Big Dawg Defender. Release him. Wow, he's really frozen. I thought he'd kick out in a minute. All right, you guys still with me? Did the whole stream go down, or are we still good and we just lost Big Dog? If you're still with me, say something in chat. It looks like it's Big Dog going. Looks like it's Big Dog going. I don't see anything in chat either. Did we lose everybody? Did we lose everybody? What's happening? Akidragu, I do see, says, she does say it in this episode. In the previous episode, she calls jazz a waste of time for a ranger. Oh, right, because the music. Fair enough. Okay, so she talks about specifically painting type art being a waste of time, and then music art. So she doesn't like any kind of art, really. Real Babu says just Big Dog. Okay, so we're all still together. Big Dog, hopefully we'll reconnect. I'm going to keep pushing through because we don't have much time left. So while this is going on, they get a call that there is activity, and they need to move in on that. Actually, let me real quick see if I can refresh the Big Dog, because I don't know, he might need my help to escape from Evox. So pardon my looking off screen for a moment as I see if I need to reconnect. Evox, Mechanical. Oh wait, he's coming back. Evox sent out Slicertron to attack Defender. Hey, Defender.
Hi. So for some reason, my Discord just decided to go bloop.
You know why?
But I'm back.
Because you saw Ravi creating art, so he turned it off and tried to reset it.
I went, you know what, guys? I can't crush streams anymore today.
All right. We are really, really long on time, so we got to start getting through this. Okay, so the Rangers are called, and there's this mystery villain who, of course, we know is Fargo.
I love this part.
I love this part too. But basically, he's like, "Oh no, Rangers, don't attack me!" And then he pulls out a gun and he blasts them, but he misses. And they're like, you missed, you foolish fool. So then they morph up. And they're fighting, and through the whole fight, he's doing a very. It makes me think of like a Drunken Master, like an old Jackie Chan movie.
Actually, I think. I don't know if Jackie Chan did it or Jet Li, where like he didn't fight and like it was him or somebody else caught like a punch with their chin and just like had their hands behind their back the whole time and like blocked their shoulders.
That would still show great proficiency though. In this fight, he definitely is good enough that he's not getting terribly hurt, but he's acting scared. He's like, "Oh no, oops," and and like kind of building up their false sense of security and confidence. And so what happens is Defender Rise from the Ashes, Sasaki Dragu. Mechanical Steel's voice actor is the one who also voices Vorgol. Oh, interesting.
That must have been fun.
Fighting herself. So while they're fighting, we cut back and we see Scrozzle, and he's talking to the individual in the cloak. I don't remember what he was saying. Actually, I don't remember what was happening in the scene at all. Do you?
No.
Okay, Scrozzle's talking to somebody. If chat remembers, they could tell us. We cut back, and Scrozzle's sending out a Gigatron because the whole idea is he's making them feel like, he's not much of a threat.
Yeah.
So they keep coming up with reasons to go. So Devin's like, okay, you guys got this. I'm gonna go fight the Gigatron. So he leaves because the four of them could take on him. And here comes the Gigatron. He's flying. The Gigatron's flying though because he kind of looks like the Turbotron, which is what they often do, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I love this. He can't shoot him, so he sort of does a super jump. And he tries to hit him with the sword. It doesn't work out, but it was a cool idea to try to just, whack at him with the sword.
And then he just wrecked like 2 blocks, but whatever.
Pretty much. So the guys that are still there fighting fire their cables, which they introduced a couple episodes ago. I think it was a Halloween episode, so I like they brought that back. And again, he's like, "Oh, you've caught me. Oh, no." And he keeps saying that, but then he keeps getting away. So Devin calls. He's like, "Look, I need air support." So he's like, "Okay, I'm on my way." So Turbotron's getting all the Morph-X. And here comes Zoe in the copter, which I think her Zord might be my favorite, which is weird to say. Not that I want a figure of it, because I feel like the Red Zord is the coolest figure, but hers seems to be the most useful and versatile. Like she's always flying in and strafing.
She seems to have the most versatile kind of abilities.
Agreed, yeah. So she comes in, she starts firing, but she gets knocked away after we just said how versatile she is. So meanwhile, Smash is offline. Ravi gets him cleaned up and fixed. I'm sorry, Nate gets him cleaned up and fixed. So then Ravi has to go deal with that. And Steel's the only one left, but he's like, well, we've been kicking this guy's butt. And then, I was going to say Villamax, Vargol's like, finally, the charade is over. And And so then he starts
breaks everything.
arguing with himself because, as we've just learned, that he is Steel. Matt Kendall Clare says Scrozzle is basically saying that Vargoyle is playing games with his enemy. Yeah, okay. Which we kind of knew, but I guess if for the kids that maybe weren't picking up on it. So now Vargoyle just starts beating on Steel. Steel does a good job holding his own, but clearly he's outmatched.
Gets wrecked.
Real Babu, Vargoyle is not left-handed. The Princess Bride. I like that. There's something you did not know about me. Oh, what is that? I don't know why they both have that accent. So meanwhile, back to the Zord battle. They're fighting. They're going and going. And this is the jump again. He does another jump, and I think this is the one where he kind of almost gets him, and he whiffs. And what they really need is Ravi and Smash, who come to the rescue. Dun, 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 dun. And he gives them this like sort of tumbler push-up with his back feet, which again, the Zord fights in this season, some of them are really good Zord fights. All of them are interesting. There are very few that it's like, okay, form the Megazord, hit him with a sword, we're done. That happens, but that's the minority. And I really like the way they tried to be different with it and give the different Zords a purpose besides just being an arm or a leg.
Yeah. There's only one Sentai season where I like that is the end of every episode, and it is
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. I don't think he ever even gets hit. I think we've talked about this where there's
just like blah!
Yeah, sword vigor. I think there's like a breakdown of most powerful mechas, and like his is right at the top.
Oh yeah,
because he's won every fight with one hit, and he's never been hit. Which doesn't mean he's most powerful. Maybe if he got hit, he'd be destroyed, but we'll never know. We're talking about the Japanese Spider-Man for those that don't know.
You're missing the part where he's going to use the gun to use the sword.
I'm not missing it. I'm moving on because but he successfully does a cool move despite using the gun. And then they have a cool, like, all three, again, not the Megazord, but the three of them in sort of a victory pose. I didn't get the best screenshot of it. So then we cut back to Steel fighting Vargoyle. And again, Steel doing an admirable job, but Vargoyle clearly has him outmatched. It's weird because he demorphs, but normally we see him, they demorph and they're a person. And he demorphs and he's still like a super powerful robot.
Really cool looking, yeah. He's like, I'm technically less powerful, even though I look more powerful.
Right. I look like a combination of silver and gold together.
Oh, man.
So Vargoyle looks like he's about to destroy. And Vargoyle does look very cool. I want to figure him. I want a Lightning Collection figure. I'm spoiled now. I don't even want the regular figures. I want a Lightning Collection figure. But here comes Nate with a flying kick, which makes sense because they're brothers and partners. If somebody's going to save him. And Nate, the only reason Nate wasn't in the fight. Two brothers. Is that what is that from? I know
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. Thank you.
Two brothers in a van, and then the impossible happened.
Yes. I totally lost track of what I was saying. Oh, so Nate was only not in the fight because he was fixing up Smash. Smash is fixed up, so he comes to his rescue. And then Vargoyle's like, I'm out of here. I'm not fighting two Rangers. Even though he's established that he probably could take him, that wasn't the plan. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So now we see Blaze and Roxy, and they're spying because they've been reduced in rank. And here goes the three pieces. The three beast powers now go onto Vargoyle because he's proven himself to be powerful enough, and Evox deemed it possible. And so you see him get all this crazy Super Saiyan power-up energy. We don't know what it's going to do yet, but we do know that it's going to make these two very jealous and unhappy with him. So that's kind of cool. And then back to the A plot, which is Smash painting too much. And so the whole team is pitching in and cleaning it up and everything. And Ravi's basically like, hey, sorry I scrambled your brain and messed with your memories. That's not cool. And then he gives him a hug. And I appreciate that because Ravi's not a hugger. I'm not a big hugger. He's like, I'm sorry,
Character development.
And Smash even says, like, I don't know if he says here, but at some point he's like, Ravi, I already knew you painted. I never would have ratted you out. We're friends. And Ravi's like, oh, damn. So Ravi messed up in the beginning, but unlike the Devin episode where he sort of had no motivation for messing up and then sort of got redeemed for no reason, Ravi had motivation for messing up, and he did sort of have a moment of coming to like, oh, this isn't cool, and I was wrong. So overall, I think I just had a revelation. Oh my gosh, I like Ravi better than Devin.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know that. I was gonna say, even though I usually like Devin better than Ravi, this episode, and then I realized no, in the beginning of the season, I like Devin better than Ravi.
100%.
But I absolutely like Ravi better than Devin now. So does that mean that you hate Devin?
They're making me hate Devin.
Wow. Yeah, which is wow. Because again, whatever else you say about Ravi, it's been a sort of consistent making sense arc, whereas Devin just seems to be all over the place. They don't know how to write.
So here's why. The problem is, and it's literally exact opposites if you had a graph of it. They made it where I initially out of the gates did not like Ravi.
Yeah.
Now they're slowly redeeming him.
Agreed.
Sometimes faster than others.
Yeah.
Devin out of the gates loved him. First couple episodes, great. I was like, I'm not gonna, get ahead of myself, but he could be in the top whatever number we said of Red Rangers. Now,
Right.
no chance in heck. But family friendly. So
Uh,
yeah, now like if you look at all the last episodes, Devin overreacted when they were putting up all those doohickeys around the city and yelled at Ben and Betty because he was a jerk, and Robbie was a little bit of a jerk, but he made up for it. Devin got addicted to Fury cells and then
Right.
was a jerk and was redeemed for no reason. He couldn't handle working at the car wash and was
he
kind of a jerk
overreacted to
about it.
when Zoe was telling him lies for
Oh
like
yeah,
trying
the
to
lie
protect her
thing.
friends.
He was like, "You're done, Rangers." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another thing he did. Oh, the rocket thing. I didn't like him for.
What was the rocket thing?
They built rockets, and his was super
Oh.
lame, and
Well,
he kept yelling at everybody about it.
yeah.
Wow. Oh,
Devin, poor Devin.
oh man, I can't believe.
So we both come to revelations, but for me it was more like, oh, I like Ravi better than Devin, and for you it's like, oh my God, I like Ravi better than Devin.
Yeah, Oh,
this is a good moment. This is a good moment.
and here's the thing too is Devin has been more consistently bad.
But he's been consistent, and he's been on an upward trajectory. So
No. Devin is in a downward.
Oh, I'm sorry.
trajectory.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where I'm like, they even gave him the power up, and I'm like, yeah, you're still kind of a jerk though. And Ravi, I mean, I got annoyed with him for the tooth episode, but annoyed, not mad.
Right. Yes. I forgot to do this. Because I went to the dentist. I meant to tie a big thing around my head. It said, "Okay, from the dentist." Actually, going back to that, I asked my dentist, who's I don't know how old he is. He's in his 40s, maybe 50s. He's not that old, but I was like, did they ever do that? Do you know what that's about? And he's like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, like in a cartoon. He's like, I guess. He's like, I never saw that. My teachers never saw that. So like whenever they did it, it's so long ago that like my
it's
dentist
so
doesn't even
old-timey.
remember.
The
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is it stops you from opening your mouth too much.
Yeah, I guess. Aki Dragu said sword, going back to Spider-Man, his sword is confirmed to have guaranteed one hit KO.
Yep.
Aki Dragu says this one scene of hugging you made up for everything 100%. I'll say 90%, but yes, I do think this scene made up for a lot.
I'll say 70.
Okay, and the real Babu, maybe the big dog needs to go back and watch Overdrive again. The big dog has never finished Overdrive. I will say that. But the good thing is, Big Dog, did you watch the panel? You said you watched the panel video that Steve and I did at Ranger Stop?
I did the whole thing.
Okay. I think some of the Q&A at the end got cut off.
Yes.
Was there the question about what was my favorite season? No.
Somebody said something. I know that Steve and you both agreed, wrongfully, I might add, that Overdrive's my favorite
No,
season.
because I know Ninja Steel is kind of overtaking your love of
No,
Overdrive.
we didn't get there.
Okay, well, we had said how Overdrive is probably your favorite, Ninja Steel maybe your second. They're kind of, and then later on, one of the questions we got was to me. It says, "I know that you said your normal partner's favorite season is Overdrive. What's yours?" And then I answered the question, but I just think it was good that that's getting out there and people are understanding. And I did say, well, Ninja Steel is up there too. So, that's where it cut off. That's a bummer.
What I will say, I did like some of the highlights and lowlights, depending on who you talk to, sprinkled in. And I did have it in the background because it was more podcasty.
Yes, it was mostly audio.
When I was at work. And one of my friends who sits next to me at work also knows the Kamen Rider episode and watched parts of it.
That's
fantastic.
And we
both had forgot about it. And he's like, wait, is he talking about the Masked Rider? I was like, yeah, he is.
Awesome.
And it was good to relive things that have no meaning.
Yeah, and again, some of those are clips from the show that you guys may have seen, but if you want to see the panel, it is on the YouTube channel. For some reason, my links aren't working, but it's Gazbot on YouTube, or you could go on the Action Activate Facebook page, and it's linked there as well. Let's quick finish up this episode. So, of course, there was the paint, and there was Ben and Betty, and like you said, you love the bookends, and here it comes. You see this piece of wood on the sawhorse that looks very, teetery, and you see Betty's butt about to sit on it. And of course, she does. So they've even gone back to not even faking us out. It just literally happens. And the paint bucket lands right on her head.
Yeah.
And then that actually bothered me less than the other bucket, the Suds bucket, somehow landing on his head. Like, it's so improbable that both buckets would land. I don't know. Why
do they have square buckets?
Well, Ravi has a circle once. Maybe they just want to be different. And this is what you said, where they're like, ha 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 ha, which is the one of the two reactions that you hate. I don't know. I think it weirdly bothers me more in this season than it did in Ninja Steel. Because in Ninja Steel, it was so over the top, and despite liking the emotion,
you just got numb to it.
yeah, I kind of like those actors, but I'm like, it's always gonna be bad. It's always gonna be bad. Where this is like almost good. It's like so close to getting it right that I wish they would just try a little harder or something. I don't know.
Well, these two are much more likable characters than Victor and Monty.
Yes, because Victor and Monty were sort of villainous, like selfish people, whereas Ben and
They
Betty
were too
good-hearted.
like mustache twirly without actually having mustaches.
Agreed. Whereas, yeah, you're kind of rooting for Ben and Betty. I do like though that the final scene is they're laughing at each other, like right here. I don't know, just so they're kind of in on the joke. But that is the end of this episode, which I prefer to the last one, which is weird to say because Seeing Red should have been a better episode. But
well, here's the caveat.
Yeah.
This had Vargoyle, the other didn't. That's all we have to say.
Ravi had a better redemption arc than Devin did. Ravi had a more believable descent than Devin did.
We agree on all of these, and I don't like admitting it, but it's true.
So it's funny, though, because when we were watching that episode, you're like, wait till we get to next episode, and I hate Ravi more than anything. And by the end of it, you're like, yeah, Devin's worse. That episode was worse.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, because remember, we saw these a couple weeks ago. The main thing I remember is I'm like, gosh, he did something that I'm not going to say is unforgivable, even though it's close. But I'm like, he wiped his beast.
No, that's really bad.
Awful.
That is really
and then
bad.
I saw it, and I'm like, not as bad as Devin, who literally almost murdered his teammate. So.
Yes. In chat, let's see. Aki Dragu, I also went to the dentist day before yesterday as well. Cheers to good dental health, not having toothache. Yeah, you as well. I actually had to get a root canal, but it was like my dentist started it, and then I had, because that's why we didn't have the episode yesterday. I thought I would get it and be okay, because I was at the dentist today for a root canal again, but they started it and I had to go to a specialist and they finished it, so I was able to be on today. So yeah, anything tooth is not fun. So good tooth health to everybody. And just good health in general, I guess. See, Aki Joker, this is my favorite episode so far of this season. Gets an A for me. Wow. Well, I'm glad you. Is Ravi your favorite character, Aki Dragu? Because I feel like that would make sense. Because that hug is a nice moment.
That's a non-trolly ask, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's not a. That isn't. We just got done saying how like Ravi actually we like him better than we thought. And I would be curious because this is not my favorite. I do like it better than the last one. I would say it's somewhere between a C+ and a B- for me. It's better than average.
It's 100% in the B category for me.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll go B- then. Maybe I'm just being too hard on it. I'll go B-. But if Ravi was my favorite character, I'd probably like it more because of his little redemption hug at the end.
No, but because we didn't like him as much, I think is why we liked the episode more.
Yeah.
If you replaced Ravi with Zoe, we would dislike it more because we're like, Zoe, why are you falling so far from grace?
Right, I agree.
Or Devin, I don't care, you're a jerk.
Aki Jargo says, no, Ravi isn't my favorite. Steele and Nate are, but Zoe and Ravi come close third. Nice. For those that care, Zoe has been my perennial favorite, but Steele is pretty much tied with her now for me. After that,
to me, they're different categories.
Well, right, because she's the heart of the team and he's the laughter of the team or whatever. But I like both of them about equally. After that, Ravi has come up, so I guess it would be Nate and Ravi and then Devin at the end, unfortunately.
So, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yes, say it.
I think after this episode, Ravi has the potential to be more interesting than Nate.
Okay.
But it's very episode dependent for both of them.
I'll agree with that. Yes.
And I will say, in battles, I much prefer Ravi than Nate.
Oh, yeah. He's a much more interesting fighter, and his strength is a more interesting power and things like that. Although I do like Nate's suit better. I think the gold suit is awesome.
It's fun. So I like the gold suit.
I'm a sucker for gold and silver, to be fair, though.
Yeah. I like the gold suit on paper, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's so crutched by needing steel there that there's some charm to just the standalone Blue Ranger.
Again, I don't disagree necessarily.
I want to say that we've been off the air for 2 to 3 weeks now, and we come back and just bombshells are being dropped. Where I'm saying nothing but nice things about Ravi, and even I can't.
Yeah, even last episode, you're like, next episode, get ready for me to poop all over Ravi, and you're like, oh man. Real Babu says Steele is the funny bone of the team. There you go. That's another
100%.
way of saying it. Matt Kendall Claire, Zoe will always be my favorite, but Steele is so funny. I mean, I guess that's where I fall. Is that Zoe's like ahead of Steele by like a tiny bit. I don't really think we're gonna have time for news. Do you have we'll get into news, but we're going to be super quick. Just comic book. Any comic book stuff you want to talk about?
The Ninja Turtle Power Ranger crossover is starting next month. There
Okay.
is a plethora of variant covers that you can look up on your own that are pretty cool and in different styles.
It's too many, in
One of
my
my
opinion.
favorite for nostalgia reasons is the Kevin Eastman one, just
Right.
because I think it's cool that he actually drew the Rangers. The video game we talked about in the prior episode, where Chun-Li is now a Ranger.
That's not comic books.
I'm getting it all done in one fell swoop.
Okay.
The board game, the Kickstarter ended for Phase 2 a couple weeks ago. Should be shipping at some point in the near future.
I'm putting on the screen some of the covers. Of that's the one I have on now is like kind of mimicking the original covers of the Boom series, where you have the turtles holding the different helmets. And I think, they have a lot of different ones, but I think, do they have every color turtle holding every color helmet? Is that?
I believe that's what they're going for.
That's crazy, and that's on top of all the other variants.
I officially can't do it. I may buy one.
I know. Maybe. Like Matt Frank did one. I don't. Here's another one. I didn't see the Kevin Eastman one in here yet. I know it's in here somewhere. Maybe that's not it. There's so many. I mean, you're better off just looking it up yourself. One variant though I wanted to talk about that isn't from that is actually a variant cover that has Bruno and Mia from MMPR Toys.
Yeah, that one was kind of cool.
Monsters are attacking and
they animated
it.
Well, yeah, but guess what else?
I don't know. What?
We're on the cover of Boom
either
Studios
the new
issue number
Go-Go
44.
Whoa, that's awesome. But
Mighty
what are we
Morphin
going to do about Goldar?
Comic. One of the
Looks like
recent
the Rangers
issues
are
of
here. They'll take
either
care
of
of
those comics.
So it's Necessary Evil issue 44. I think Big Dog, you were talking, but I was playing the video they did, so nobody could.
I realized as I was talking that they have audio and I don't.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, there's a video they made for it. And I started playing it, and in the background I hear you just going, yeah. So anyway, when I think about Power Rangers, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but this.
That's a good Kermit.
Yeah. So that was what I thought was really cool. So for those that know, Bruno and Mia do a show called MMPR Toys. They mostly talk about the toys, but they're very fun to watch, and they're very big in the Power Ranger community. So it's cool that they got honored. Let's see. Matt Kennel-Claire, Here's the Grid Phase 2 is scheduled to ship in March, and also says people who backed for tiers got the MMPR Green, White, and Shattered Grid. Keep an eye on your email since CrowdOx has been sending out emails. So thank you for that.
Last thing that is very important.
Yes.
After long wait, Toys That Made Us Season 3 is out.
Yes.
There is an episode on both Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
Yes.
I personally watched most of Ninja Turtles, but all of Power Rangers. Power Rangers episode's great. Please go watch it.
I agree. I've watched it twice. I watched it with my mom, and then I watched it with my wife. It should have been like 2 or 3 parts because they did their best, but there's so much. But Scott Zillner from Power Morphicon is in it, as well as Mikey from Ranger Stop, who I was with 2 weeks ago. He's in it, as well as some of the original actors, as well as Andre Meadows, Black Nerd Comedy, who's given us a shout out. A lot of people that I personally know, but even if I didn't, they're part of the community, so it's cool that they're in it. Speaking of Bruno and Mia from Empire Stores, they were supposed to be in it, but they moved and couldn't get in it. But yeah, it's still very worth watching. Anything you got to say it now, because I'm gonna cut out here. We got to be done.
This has been great. Thank you all for joining us this week for the extra special welcome back episode. Go watch the interviews and the panel from Ranger Stop.
There'll be more interviews coming up too.
I am the Big Dog Defender. He is
Gazbot
and
to the power. Thanks everybody.
See you guys later.
End credits.
What up? This is Austin St.
No, I kind of know.
All right, stop talking. Pretend it's a brand new episode. Here we go.